Donald Trump and every single member of his administration is playing political theater with Charlie Kirk's death. What they are focused on, more than anything, isn't grieving a friend, but it is extracting as much political capital out of this event as possible. But unfortunately for them, their political theater isn't going very well because they don't know their lines, their makeup looks like shit, and they keep tripping over their cues. That's what we saw from Stephen Miller tonight, a complete implosion that we are going to get into in the lie that was exposed that they've been telling. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get into Stephen Miller's complete implosion, I want to start with the latest reporting on the failure from the FBI, which has just shown how little this administration actually cares. On Thursday morning, a day after hastily suggesting the person who gunned down Charlie Kirk was in custody, Kash Patel, the FBI director, convened an online meeting with 200 agents around the country to discuss the manhunt. It was a tense affair. Mr. Patel and his deputy Dan Bongino made it clear that they were under intense pressure to catch the killer of Mr. Kirk. They expressed themselves with such fierce urgency that, in the view of some participants, it hinted at another motive, to prove that they were up to the task. The director wasted no time before calling out subordinates that he said failed to give him timely information and was incensed that agents in Salt Lake City waited nearly 12 hours to show him a photo of the suspected killer, according to 3 people familiar on the exchange. Mr. Patel said he would not tolerate any more Mickey Mouse operations, an official on the call recounted. It was one of his few utterances without profanity, the person added. The killing of Mr. Kirk on Wednesday not only possesses a challenge to agents racing to find the shooter, it also represented a grave leadership test for Kash Patel. His swift pronouncements about the inquiry have received concerns about his lack of experience, obsession with social media, and purge of some of the Bureau's most experienced investigators, according to current and former officials, most of whom spoke on the sensitive matter on the condition of anonymity. Of course, we know that it wasn't Kash Patel who overcame his early stumble, but rather the shooter's father turning him in, but the FBI director's actions have already invited scorn and scrutiny from the Bureau's workforce and some senior officials at the Justice Department who think his behavior has eroded public confidence in the FBI. They think his behavior has eroded public confidence in the FBI? Kash Patel has proven why you do not have to care, why you do not have to give in to this incensed begging and demand from the right to care about and to mourn Charlie Kirk. Because if the right, if Donald Trump actually cared about preventing political violence, actually cared about tracking down this killer, Kash Patel would not have purged the FBI. He would not have decimated their Salt Lake City office. Kash Patel was not the one who found the killer. It was the killer's father who turned him in. Kash Patel is no hero. Kash Patel is in embarrassment. That is what is proven time and time again, and it's the reason why the meltdown we saw from Stephen Miller that we're going to get into just rings so hollow to me, especially in the face of what Pete Hegseth just did in response. Pete Hegseth tells Pentagon staff to hunt for negative Charlie Kirk posts by service members. Several people have already been relieved of their jobs because of their posts on social media, defense officials told NBC News. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told his staff to identify any members of the military who have mocked or condoned the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk so that they can be punished, two defense officials told NBC News. Several service members have been relieved from their jobs because of such posts, the official said, adding that Hegseth's directive also pertains to others associated with the Department of Defense. It's unclear exactly how many people have been disciplined. Hegseth and other senior Pentagon leaders posted messages on X this week calling on the public to report any post that could be interpreted as negative about Kirk or unsympathetic about his murder. We are tracking all of these very closely and will address immediately completely unacceptable, Hegseth wrote on Twitter. His post was in response to Pentagon spokesperson Sean Parnell saying on Twitter, "It is unacceptable for military personnel and Department of War civilians to celebrate or mock the assassination of a fellow American. The Department of War has zero tolerance for it." You are seeing their plan play out in real time. Step 1 is to use Charlie Kirk's killing as justification for Donald Trump to carry out his authoritarian project. to do whatever he wants, to raid cities, to attack his enemies, all in the name of going after the radical left. Next, after they're done with the fascism, to say that anyone calling them a fascist is inflaming a political rhetoric that's going to lead to more violence. And so we will silence you. That is why I refuse to be silenced, because that is what they want. And that's what Stephen Miller is trying to get in some weird form of sympathy when he was screaming about his next plan right here.
And let me tell you something I've not shared with anybody, but the last message that Charlie Kirk gave to me before he joined his creator in heaven was he said that we have to dismantle and take on the radical left organizations in this country that are fomenting violence. That was the last message that he sent me before that assassin stole him from all of us. And we are going to do that under President Trump's leadership. I don't care how. It could be a RICO charge, a conspiracy charge, conspiracy against the United States, insurrection, but we are going to do what it takes to dismantle the organizations and the entities that are fomenting riots, that are doxing, that are trying to inspire terrorism, and that are committing acts of wanton violence. It has to stop. And my message is to all of the domestic terrorists in this country spreading this evil hate: you want us to live in fear? We will not live in fear, but you will live in exile, because the power of law enforcement under President Trump's leadership will be used to find you, will be used to take away your money, take away your power, and if you've broken the law, to take away your freedom, Sean.
They couldn't be making it clearer. What they are doing is justifying the expansion of this fascistic regime, that they will go after anyone because they have the mandate of a man who attacked black people for a living. That was Charlie Kirk's job, was to be racist. He is not a martyr. He was a media figure, a vile media figure. I don't want to hear anything about how we have to build a statue, mourn the memory, eulogize this man who cared so deeply for free speech, except he never spoke out about the kidnapping of Mahmoud Khalil for criticizing a genocide in Gaza that our tax dollars fund. I never heard Charlie Kirk say that. So Stephen Miller, spare me the screaming. Spare me the nonsense. This is their project. Take this event, use it as justification, and then try to scare you into letting them.
And let me tell you something I've not shared with anybody, but the last message that Charlie Kirk gave to me before he joined his creator in heaven was he said that we have to dismantle and take on the radical left organizations in this country that are fomenting violence. That was the last message that he sent me before that assassin stole him from all of us. And we are going to do that under President Trump's leadership. I don't care how. It could be a RICO charge, a conspiracy charge, conspiracy against the United States, insurrection, but we are going to do what it takes to dismantle the organizations and the entities that are fomenting riots, that are doxing, that are trying to inspire terrorism, and that are committing acts of wanton violence. It has to stop. And my message is to all of the domestic terrorists in this country spreading this evil hate: you want us to live in fear? We will not live in fear, but you will live in exile, because the power of law enforcement under President Trump's leadership will be used to find you, will be used to take away your money, take away your power, and if you've broken the law, to take away your freedom, Sean.
This is what they want. They want you frightened. They want you silenced. They don't want you paying attention to what they're doing, certainly. They're going to hold as many funerals. They want him to lie in state. Donald Trump said that it would be ugly to lower the flags after Jimmy Carter passed, but Charlie Kirk is going to lie in state? Charlie Kirk? The guy who said black women don't deserve jobs? Who said we should be stoning gay people? Charlie Kirk? Stop it. And the spin that they've tried to put on the ball, now that they're the killer isn't the person that they imagined it to be, the radical left lunatic, now that we know he's a conservative nut, we've gone pretty far from we need a civil war to, well, just take a listen to what Stephen Miller said.
Our universities, in many cases, have become incubators for extremism. They become the equivalent of madrasas for jihadism.
Oh yes, it's the colleges, the uber woke colleges in Utah. It was in Utah. The kid went to one semester of college, and that's what we're blaming it on. It's not maybe. Let me think about this one. One semester of college, or it could be the fucking guns. I don't know. To offer up a counter argument, maybe it could be the guns. Anyone? No, Steven? You want to scream and melt down and collapse, but you don't want to address the actual cause? Do not let them pressure you. Do not let them silence you. Do not let them suppress your speech in calling them out because they want to say that inflames the rhetoric, that inflames the political environment. You are just calling out how little they actually care. And we should have listened long ago because they don't care about keeping us safe, or Kash Patel wouldn't be in charge. We'd have listened to Adam Schiff right here.
Senator Durbin asked you about the January 6th choir of inmates whose song you promoted, and here's what you said. I did not have anything to do with the recording. I did not have anything to do with the recording. Do you stand by that testimony, Mr. Patel?
Senator, what I said was I didn't do the recording.
You said you didn't have anything to do with the recording, which is interesting because here's what you told Steve Bannon on his podcast. So what we thought would be cool is if we captured that audio and then, of course, had the greatest president, President Donald J. Trump, recite the Pledge of Allegiance, then we went to a studio and recorded it, mastered it, digitized it, and put it out as a song now releasing exclusively on the War Room.
This should have been a no from the get-go. And yet here we are, with Kash Patel in charge. The man knows nothing, screaming expletives at his staff, melting down, completely incompetent. And they want to say that we have to care. Why do we have to care? Kash Patel doesn't care. Kash Patel cares about how many likes he gets on his tweet. Kash Patel cares about making sure he gets that dinner res. And then he gets to be at the club later. Honestly, I know he's the director of the FBI, but if you're a bouncer at a club and you're letting Kash Patel in, jail. Come on, guys. What are we doing here? Kash Patel? I know that he could send people after, but seriously, guys. That is the solidarity that we need in this country right now. If you are a bouncer, I task you with saying no to Kash Patel. This is bullshit, and we're going to continue to call it out. I'm not taking it. This is the show, and Jack with the new tone. We're not taking it. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep fighting. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.